Welcome, 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 brothers and sisters. Welcome. I do an extra broadcasting right now. I got an insight that I needed to share, and the Father placed it upon my heart. All these insight, the last 15 minutes, and as you can see, um, you see at the screen this text: humanity is happily building a new upgraded level of this narcissistic system in this world, where so-called smart cities will be as cages and the so-called rulers do human husbandry and have so humans degraded below animals. This is the insight that I have. There are many people at the moment for several years now, and especially the last few years, exposing narcissism, sociopathy, and psychopathy, malignant narcissism, and we are in actuality dealing with this. The Father showed me the last 15 minutes from my lunch that people who experience on relationship level a relation with a narcissist, this in actuality is also experienced on macro level, which means world level. We are dealing with a carefully crafted, built up narcissistic system. And this narcissism is now going to a level in which humanity has not realized that they are losing themselves completely. Let us go to relationship level. If a person has a relationship with a malignant narcissist, I hope yeah. If a person is in a relationship with a narcissist, what happens? The narcissist, and especially if it's a malignant one and also covert, what happens is that the narcissistic person is in actuality destroying the person step by step by step. Well, if we are looking at this world, what is in actuality happening right now and for a far too long time? And this is exactly what the Father showed me in my lunchtime. The evil rulers who have decided to walk the path of darkness and evil, who have sold themselves and who hate love, who hate God, who hate Christ, who hate everything that is of the living light, living love, and living life, they are carefully destroying it. And they have abused humanity for their games. And if you start to unravel the structure, dynamics, and mechanics of a narcissist and what a narcissist is doing and using to break the person with whom they are, because a narcissist is all about breaking, destroying the light, the living light in the person that they are with. It is also called empath or whatever, but in actuality, a narcissist does every single thing to destroy the living light in the person that they are with. And so this is happening on world scale. And as soon on personal relation level, as soon the narcissist sees that his supply is starting to see through its dynamics mechanics, then it is searching for new tactics. What is happening on world scale? As soon as too much people are starting to see beyond the veil, then the narcissistic, malignant, Machiavelli narcissists of this world, they have to change their tactics. And God showed me also that all these psychological operations that they create and set up to distract us constantly is there as one of the tools to break us step by step by step. And as soon as too much people are spreading their insights in revealing the dynamics and mechanics that the rulers, the Machiavelli rulers of this world are using against us, what happens? Censorship comes into play, because they do not want that too many people are showing their revelations. They do not want that too much people wake up to these schemes. This world, in actuality, is one gigantic Machiavellic Ponzi scheme. Every single thing is a Ponzi scheme, from insurance to taxes to every single thing. And these Machiavellists, that are ruling this world, they are in actuality look like human, they talk like a human, they behave like a human, but in the inside they are not. And so that is why we see what we see outplayed right now on a world scale. It is nothing more than the dynamics and mechanics being outplayed by these Machiavellic narcissists, malignant narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, whatever type of name you want to give it. But at the end of the day, it comes to this. These are beings that they look like us, but in the inside, they're very evil spirits. What you could call demonic, whatever label you want to give it. And so these smart cities, God told me, these smart cities are nothing more than cages to store humans in. The same is being done, with chickens in the bio industry. Yeah. So that is what is in actuality what a smart city is. And all the things that are now being rolled out, all these so-called data centers, that gives them another tool to suppress us and to break another level in us. And they use every single thing that they can use. And if you go diving into narcissism, and especially the ones whom are truly sincere in revealing information and whom are a true have an experience with it for quite some time in their life, they are revealing this. And God showed me during my lunch that humanity is completely unawares that all these ideas of socialism, communism, fascism, and now it's called totalitarianism. He says, yes, because totalitarianism is all the three in actuality packed in one. And that is exactly what we are seeing. They do everything to strip off the human race from every single thing that they like and that they love. And so we see now the murderous rules and laws also against the animals, because they know that humans love animals. That's why they have introduced vaccines and the chipping, all under the false disguise of protection and safety for your animal. But it's all a lie. It's all a lie. Just as the whole vaccine program is one lie. From the beginning on, there was this dark agenda behind it to break the human from the inside out, so that the disembodied spirits can take over humans and also animals, because I've seen a lot of weirdness with animals being taken over. So this is why they do what they're doing. This is why they try to enforce this whole vaccine campaign, and that we need to do this and blah, blah, blah. It's all part of their narcissistic gameplay. And it's about time, the Father says, that we need to see through this and stop participating in this. All the rollout of these windmills, data centers, solar panels, electric cars, and whatever you have is all part of this whole narcissistic, malignant, narcissistic gameplay being played out on world level. Because if you have experienced what it is to be in a narcissistic relationship, then you need to recognize all the things that are now being played out on world level. And they do this already for a far too long time. So they want to have completely control over the rest. Yeah. And so that they can live their sick-minded life, and that they the way they are going to see us, and the way they already see us, is nothing more as just an animal which you can play with in a way that suits them. So if they want to place you in poverty, they do at random. That's why they have set up this whole digital system. This whole digital system is nothing more than their way to play out their sadomasochisticness on us. That's what it is. And this is a revelation that I got during my lunch. And I was watching a video of some person, and the one insight after another came to me, and God was clearly helping me to see the dots. And he's already for quite some time helping me to see the dots, the link connected between narcissism experienced on personal level and happening on macro level. Macro level is world level. So all these people, because what is it the narcissist wants? Well, they have in first and foremost a very perverted worldview, and they want to have the world completely being as they seem fit. And there comes the point. They see that before they can do so, they need to train humans in such a way that they can let them do what they want them to do. So that is why they have rolled out long time ago already this behavioral programs, all sorts of behavioral programs. We have seen it in 2020. 2020 was nothing more than a huge experiment of them to see the percentage among humans whom are willing to obey them. And also 2020 was also a huge test for AI, in how AI is also able to run everything. But that's another topic for another time, if I have more information about that one. But in actuality, 2020 was a gigantic world test in which these perverted people called Machiavelli narcissists ruling this world, steering the show here, could see the percentage of humans that were able to obey them and that would fall for their carefully crafted and constructed lies. And this is constantly going on. All these psychological operations are nothing more than a test in seeing the percentage of humans who fall prey in that narrative and who start to believe that narrative. And they love to see it when humans are rolling over each other about a narrative. Take for example these these forbidden files, as I call it. Yeah, um, it was completely going on, and every person was talking about it. And as soon um, as more and more people start to see through the narrative, what happens? They create another psyop to distract everyone so that everyone has a new topic to roll over for weeks, even months. Well, this other topic was the Mr. KIRK guy. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the news was all over this person, and everyone was rolling over this person, and everyone was trying to get a deeper understanding of this narrative. They love this. Narcissists love to see how we are completely letting ourselves absorbed and usurped by things that are of no relevance at all. As a matter of fact, the more you start to see through the I call it dark dynamics and mechanics played out in this world, the more you start to see that everything is happening with a certain agenda behind it. And the Father said already, this world is built on a Ponzi scheme of lies. And this Ponzi scheme works in a way that constantly is giving benefit to those evil rulers. And we need to realize that we are at the brink of losing our humanness. We need to realize that we are at the brink of losing everything that makes us human and that makes us unique as human. And these narcissistic rulers, yeah, these beings that look like humans but are in the inside not, they have introduced artificial so-called intelligence, nothing more as a tool to eventually destroy every single aspect of us humans, the creativity that God has given us, the uniqueness that is in us that God has given us. That is why they are enforcing on us this artificial intelligence, to work with it and to use it as if it's so handy. But as a matter of fact, there is a very dark agenda behind it. And I know that many brothers and sisters do not want to see this. They still keep themselves blind and they ignore the alarming signs, the warning signs that are being spread by several people, groups of people that the Father is also helping to get the awareness out to his children, to see through all these agendas, and so that we can make a decent choice. And God, it hurts his heart, really, it hurts his heart to see that so many of his children refuse to see, refuse to hear the warning signs, and are still going along and giving permission for the next rollout of this dark scheme, agendas, mechanics, and dynamics. So again, humanity is in actuality building a new level in this narcissistic world system, and most of them are unawares of this, and a huge percentage of them are willful ignorant and are avoiding what the Father is showing to us. So yeah, see through it and start diving in this topic narcissism, and dive in it and start see the connections that is now visible in this world. They use every tool they can use. And why is it that they have come and could have come so far? Because the majority of humans are still unwilling to see this. And we have, for a too long time, allowed all this to happen. But we are reaching a critical point here. And it is about time that we see through all this that is being played out. So this is what I needed to share. And I also want to say, if you see how these rulers are towards us, you can clearly see this push and pull mechanism. Then they are there for us, and then they reject us. That's exactly what a narcissist is doing too. Push and pull, attracting and rejecting. And this is also what is going on. What is it that a narcissist also is doing? It is making its supply completely dependent on the narcissist. Yeah? What is being played out on a world's scale? What is it that these narcissistic rulers want us to do? They are making us dependent of them. Yeah? And then it's called dependency on the state. The state will take care of you. The state will make sure that you have money. The state will give you this or give you that. So they use the mechanism, the tool, state, to make us all dependent on them, these Machiavellistic rulers. Yeah, that is also a dynamic that you see in a narcissistic relationship. Eventually, a person becomes so dependent on a narcissist, especially if the person is not able to see what really is going on with him or her. And that person is doing everything to please the narcissist. Well, what is humanity, the majority of humanity doing? They are constantly pleasing these Machiavellistic rulers. We saw it in 2020. Most people with, retailers and people with own restaurants and shops and whatever, what did they do? They did exactly what the government was telling them to do. What is it? What they were in actuality doing? They were in actuality listening to these perverted rules created by these Machiavellistic rulers, who told all these entrepreneurs, retailers, and those who run a pub and a restaurant that they had to do this and they had to change this and that and whatever before they could reopen their doors again. What did they do, the retail? They listened. What did these entrepreneurs did? They listened. And all those who own their own pub and restaurant, what did they do? They spent huge amounts of money to please the government so that they could reopen their doors. That is exactly what is going on a personal level. If you are having a relationship with a narcissist, then the narcissist, if it can come so far, it eventually ends up that the supply, so the partner of the narcissist, becomes completely dependent on the narcissist and cannot do anything without the permission of the narcissist. And this is exactly being played out on world level. People cannot do the next step before they have permission from the so-called government, which has been completely taken over by these Machiavellistic rulers, whom have their pawns everywhere in their system. And so all these retailers and entrepreneurs did exactly what these perverts were demanding the world, the people, the humans needed to do before they could get back their life again. Did they get back their life? No, their life became worse and worse. And so people need to understand that if you are participating still in the voting system, unfortunately, the voting system on itself could have been a tremendous good system, good working system, if it were not hijacked. And that's the whole problem. The voting system was already early in the beginning of its existence hijacked by these perverted Machiavellistic rulers, sociopaths, psychopaths, whatever you want to name them. And so if you are voting, the voting system is now working against you and against all those in your country. Because as soon as you go to the vote, you are in actuality doing the opposite. You gave compliance, you give your consent for the rollout of the next narcissistic plan that they, the Machiavellistic rulers, have in mind for the human races. And so, if you start to dive in this topic about narcissism, Machiavellism, and psychopathy and sociopathy, then you start to see this whole dynamic being played out in society on world level. And this whole control mechanism, because there is one thing that the narcissist is doing. It is constantly controlling its supply, its so-called partner. Yeah, how do they do this? By constantly apping. Yeah, so if they are away from home, then they constantly give messages. Oh, darling, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Where are you now? With whom are you? That is why they are rolling out this entire digital system, because they want to know from each one of us what we are doing, what we are saying. And it goes so far that even the cameras are already in our homes. They are already following us. So that is why that they do what they're doing. This whole digital system is only there as is this tool for these Machiavellistic rulers of this world to get to know and have grip on each and every step that we do. so that we no longer shall live freely anymore, so that we start to feel as a bird in a cage. And this is exactly what happens in a personal relationship when a person is in a relationship with a narcissist, malignant narcissist or covert narcissist, or the overt version of it. Eventually, they start to lose themselves completely. They start to lose themselves because the longer the person is in relationship with this narcissist, eventually the narcissist can break more and more of this person. And this is exactly what is going on. This breaking of the living light in humanity, in the soul of humanity. And this is the message that God wanted me to speak and to share with you, so that you start seeing the entire construction. And another thing, narcissists love confusion. And how can you create confusion? By sending confused messages. Their messages are in actuality lies with a little bit truth in it. And this tiny bit of truth, that makes that you somewhere have something like, well, yeah, okay, that sounds, something that can be true. Look at the whole smear campaign. In actuality, you can say, but look at the whole campaign in 2020. Look at the messages they brought out. And they love to create panic. They love to create fear, because panic and fear entices the victim even more so to them. So that is also why a narcissist creates panic and fear in its supply, in its so-called partner, so the partner gets deeper enticed to the narcissist. And this is exactly what is going on world level. They are doing everything to have each one of us deeply enticed into them. So, lovely brothers and sisters, I share this with you because I sincerely love you and I sincerely care about you. And I also feel how it hurts God's heart to see that so many of his children are refusing to see beyond the veil. And you also can say, what many are now also saying, The Wizard of Oz, this whole movie, The Wizard of Oz, is in actuality also based on this. And the wizard that is carefully crafting Dorothy's world, and eventually there comes a moment, and then Dorothy is seeing behind the curtains, and sees who is really behind. Well, see this also as you starting to see behind the masks of these Machiavellistic rulers of this world. And in your local government and in your nation government, they yeah, your prime minister and those whom are close around and the biggest parties in the parliament, um, who have the biggest mouth, so to say. Um, these people wear masks. So as soon as you start to see behind the mask, then their whole construct collapses. And this is exactly what God, our Heavenly Father, is now asking you. See through the masks of your politicians. See behind these masks so that these masks can rapidly fall down. And with this, the entire construct that they have built it up for a far too long time. And this construct started thousands of years ago already. And all technology, the Father says, is reversed engineered. So this means works against us. Technology could have been something good, yeah, and uh, been uh, could have helped us in a certain way, but these Machiavellistic rulers made sure that we more and more got absorbed and usurped by things such as tablets, mobile phones, and thus technology. Because the more we are distracted with that, the more easy it is for them to have entrance to us. Because then we are not busy with seeing behind the curtain, behind the real mask. And this construct needs to collapse. But humanity is the only source that can do this because they need to learn from this. And that is why the Father is encouraging people to speak about narcissism, to bring that out so that you can make the connectional dots with what is being played out in society. And let me see if I have shared everything that I needed to share. So in basic line, this is what I needed to share with you, to see that we need to unravel the masks of all these rulers that are creating a false reality and make us believe that that is our reality. So narcissists have a own reality. They believe in their own reality. Well, if you have a group of Machiavelli narcissists together, yeah, they have the same type of worldview, reality, perception. And that is why they can do what they can do by collaborating with each other to push this worldview, which is their worldview, to push their worldview, their world perception upon us and make us believe that that is the world, that that is life, that that is reality. But as a matter of fact, it's a false reality. It's a reality overlay, so overlaid over the actual reality that we are not allowed to see. And so we need to see why they also started to change the education system. The entire education system is completely and carefully crafted into their perception of how they see the world and how they see that humans need to function and be. So that is why the education system has degraded rapidly after the 50s in a system that only how can you say this, in a system that makes in actuality people dumber instead of using their potentials, really learning things that they need to learn. So we see now how the majority of humanity is now terraforming this world in a world that suits the Machiavellistic, narcissistic rulers. And narcissists do not want to do the things themselves. They love to place it on someone else's plate. Why? Because if that person makes a fault in their eyes, then they have another way, of punishing that person. So they do not really making their own hands dirty. That's why they have flying monkeys. These flying monkeys, these persons, are being used as tools to do the work for them. So that's how you need to see what humanity now is doing. They are doing the work for these Machiavellistic rulers. Terraforming this world into a world that is dystopian, that has nothing to do with life whatsoever, that is completely based on death, and is a perverted worldview. And we see this because we see perversion rising, increasing with the day. And as long as people are not willing to see this and are refusing to see the warning signs that the Father is sending out through many of his children who truly want to spread the message, the word, the insight that he is giving to them. If there are still people avoiding this, ignoring this, then this will go further and further. And this, if you are in actuality truly studying the world wars and what is it, we have had more revolutions and so on, then you can see the same structures and same patterns, all related as narcissistic. So thank you for listening. And this is the message, the insight that I needed to share. And the Father gave me this during my lunch, and I felt a deep urge to immediately share this with you, to help you in a way as I can help you. And in togetherness, people like me, eventually in togetherness, we form this huge, you can say, message board for the rest of our brothers and sisters. All right. Thank you so much for listening. And it is just a message, an insight, but I think it's very worth seeing the dots that I have given you. And I want to say till the next time, till tomorrow, when I will appear with a new study reading. And enjoy your day, and yeah, re-listen to this message that I had to pass on to you. All right, thank you so much. I will go to the end screen. Thank you so much again. God bless you, and I wish you all a beautiful day filled with a lot of love, truth, beauty, kindness, and goodness. And if the Christ within you is placing upon your heart to be there for a fellow brother, sister, please do so. Do not ignore this call. Ask the Christ within you how you can be of assistance to your fellow brother, sister, as he is asking you to do. All right. See you next time. God bless you, and enjoy the piece of music that you will hear. It's called Echoes from the Mountains from Van Sound. God bless you.